Why you keep attracting narcissists? It's baffling. You may have done some work on yourself, watched some YouTube videos, bought the books. You may have even had generic therapy. Yet, you may find time and time again, narcissists are drawn to you. What is all that about? I'm your girl, Keely Taverner, psychotherapist who's passionate about helping empathic people move on from one-way relationships. The reality is, in any adverse situations, there are life lessons that we need to pay attention to. We're not always victims, and I know that can create backlash, but when we're not self-aware, we lack an awareness of what we may do that brings unnecessarily difficult people to us. So the first thing to be mindful of, my empathic friends, is we are not great at accepting people as they are. I'm sorry. We see the best in people. Often we may fall in love with potential. We may have a fantasy in our mind's eye of how someone or relationship should be. And all the time we're focusing on how a relationship should be, we are not in the present where we need to accept people as they are. Often empaths, this is one of the reasons you'll draw narcissists to you. Because when people show you who they are, you don't believe them. You believe in the potential of that individual. You believe in the fantasy of your mind's eye of what that person will become. And so when you stay in a place of non-acceptance of people, that will take your life down a rabbit's hole. And that's where we often can end up holding on, staying in situations that just don't work for us. And even sometimes when we've understood all about narcissism and we've read the books, got the t-shirt, got the tattoo and everything else, the reality, uncomfortable reality is, at some level, some of us are still in it. We're still holding on. And I think we're not conscious of it, but we really do still hope people will change. This takes us into denial. This takes us into a process of distortion of reality. And if you perpetually do that, it's a recipe for common mental health problems. And I know you want to live a good life. I know you want a fulfilling life, right? So if this is a problem for you, pay careful attention if you keep attracting narcissists. At some level, there may well be a naivety to you. And boy, does a narcissist love a naive empath. Empaths, we have to be wise. The world is not all lollipops, rainbows and unicorns. It's tricky out there, serious situations. People are looking to often, not always, but people often can have lifestyles out of you, especially if you lack self-belief. But that's for next week's video. So for this week, what I'm talking about is empathic people lack acceptance of people. We are optimistic, we are hopeful, we see the best in people, we can hold on to cherry pick the best moments as well. And all the time we're doing that, we do not accept people as they are, and we develop a fantasy of how they can be. We hold on to that fantasy, and it's just one of the many ways that we end up in these one-way relationships. And I know that this is acceptance frees you. The problem with acceptance is we may not like what we have to accept. And that's when our own egos come into play. We may not like what we have to accept. I'm not here to tell you acceptance means you like it, but acceptance means you stop banging your head against the brick wall, hoping, wishing, and wanting for somebody else to be different. Learn to accept them as they are. And if that is intolerable to you, then you have to think about what you may need to do for your situation. Too many of us empaths want to go around trying to change people, going above and beyond in the hope that that will have some sort of difference. My people, this is one of the ways you end up being used and abused, broke often, and having your energy drained. My encouragement to you is take back your energy, focus on what you can control. That is in your power. That is in your destiny. How about focusing in on your own potential? Empaths, you're really great at noticing everybody else's potential, but what about your own, huh? What about your own? You want to tell me when you get to therapy, you've done this for that person, you've done that for this person, you've done this for that person, and they've not paid you back. This one's robbed you. This one's taken your kindness for weakness. Okay, you've been abused. But how do you now take back your power? Do you invest in yourself in the same way you invest in others? Or, like many empaths, do you always find an excuse why it's not today, not now? This is one of the ways you put yourself last. And it's one of the ways you keep going round and round and round and round in vicious cycles. And none of us ain't getting no younger. And the years are rolling by. Next thing you know, 5, 10, 15 years, you're still in a similar situation. But hey ho, it's life. I'm not here to judge you, but I'm here to encourage you to think about what you do with your energy, because if you want better for yourself and a better life, a more fulfilling life, then making choices, being conscious of how you don't accept people as they are is crucial for the future dreams and ambitions you have for yourself. They depend upon you becoming clearer so that you can accept people as they are and make choices. Is this what I want for myself? Is this what I want for my future? Ask yourself that. And then you have to get kind of really hard with, you have to get really unapologetic with yourself. If it's not something you want for your future, you need to rebuke it. You need to say no. If that is what you want for your future, if you see people behaving in disrespectful ways, and ask yourself, is this what I want for my future? If that's what you want for you, say yes to it. But then you know that you are consciously in that situation and you've done it to yourself. It's your girl, Keely Tavern. I'm here to challenge you as empaths. It's not wise for me to just, let us go around thinking that we're just perpetually victims. We need to raise our vibration, raise our awareness, get clarity about how we co-create situations, because the situation has to be co-created. And one of the ways it's co-created is by empaths being in the dark. If you want to understand more about why you attract narcissists and also what to do to stop attracting narcissists, download my guide below and read up on my thoughts about what I believe is happening in this process. And if need be, let's have a conversation about how to move on and up with your precious life. It's your gal, Keely Taverner, psychotherapist who's passionate about helping empaths move on from one-way draining relationships with unnecessarily difficult people. Do take care of you, because if you don't, no one's coming to save you. You must learn to save yourself.